You know, I've been thinking, there's not a lot of stuff that shoots a shotgun blast of Mega. Yeah, of course we have stuff that shoots multiple elite darts and multiple half darts and other stuff. We don't really have a lot of stuff that shoots just a blast of Mega. And the stuff that we do have is from the community, like something like, I don't know, an Absolver or a Drain Blaster, something you could shove a bunch of darts in and just give a big blast, like something off of a Titan tank or something. But even looking at that, you don't have something that could fire multiple. This right here is a modded Boomdozer, and the Boomdozer shoots the giant Mega XL dart. And it got me thinking, if there's enough plunger diameter to fire this giant projectile, maybe we can actually have something that shoots 3 Mega. And so I went over to Thingiverse, and sure enough, a creator that goes by Chicken made a cylinder. Now this one right here is the one that shoots 3 Mega. He also has some other ones. Shoots 5, I believe, elite, and then also short darts, obviously. So I gave this thing a print, and I figured, hey, let's mod this thing. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what I did inside here. I did give this thing some performance upgrades on the inside, so stick around to check those out. Also in the video, we're gonna check out the performance of these and see, is it worth it to mod the Boomdozer into the ultimate Mega shotgun? Now before I get into the mod of this blaster, I want to basically go over its performance just to show people if this thing's actually worth modding. Now spoiler alert, I think yes. I think this thing is cool. So I took this outside and got some chronograph numbers, and as you can see, it was pretty consistent around 50 FPS. I did have some outliers here and there which I do have a little issue with shooting 3 Mega, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. But for now, yeah, FPS was 50-ish. Now, when you're getting chronograph readings off of 3 projectiles, I believe what's happening is when you hit the first thing that it touches, it measures the first and then the end of that projectile. Now, if you have a group that is traveling together, it's going to be the first that touches the chronograph and then the tail end. So if you have a fast dart and a slow dart, there's a potential for that speed to not really be an accurate capture. So I had to do quite a few of these, but in the end, I can say it's kind of consistent at around 50 FPS, which is amazing. The reason why this is so amazing is Mega darts weigh like 2.5 grams each. That's 7.5 grams. It feels to be heavier than a Mega XL. I don't have my scale, so if you are able to weigh a Mega XL dart, please comment in the section below. So I was very happy to see the performance of shooting 3 Mega darts, because this one was around, I want to say it was around 60 FPS when it was stock. So shooting 3 Mega darts at 50 FPS, pretty good in my opinion. The next thing I wanted to test is just how well does this thing perform at 30 feet? Because when it comes to a shotgun, you're pretty much going to be engaging targets at like, I don't think you're going to be engaging people too much at 50 feet, but 30 definite. 30 to 25, 20 feet, that's going to be a good engagement range for a shotgun. And the beauty of a Mega shotgun is you're not dependent on that one lonely Mega dart to ensure that you get that tag on that shield. You got 3 of them coming at them. So there's a very good chance you're going to tag someone with a shield or a super zombie at 30 feet. So as you can see here, performance is pretty good. I did notice I had to put a little arc on it at times, and there was a little bit of inconsistencies, which we'll talk about now. I am finding that not every Mega dart is created equal. They have a very wide range of dart diameters, I'm finding. And that's even with the stock proprietary Nerf darts. Obviously I have some fake darts in here for, you know, the cheaper Mega darts, and they're kind of more inconsistent too. So what I kind of found myself doing is kind of checking each dart to see that you have this nice, good seal. Some of them, let me try to find one that's not so good. And then some of the darts were a little bit tighter, like they didn't have the same diameter. So like they just take a little bit more force to get in there. And so what happens is, whatever one dart is like, all 3 have to be like that, or you're gonna have an uneven dispersion of force and pressure. And so what's gonna happen is, you know, maybe one dart won't fully fire out. Like if this tight dart here is too tight and these are too loose, then the two will fire, and then the one will just kind of stick out and then cause, jamming and whatnot and poor performance. So what does all that mean? I'm not necessarily saying this is a bad design. I'm saying Mega Darts are a little bit inconsistent, which I'm starting to find out. I've never shot 3 Mega Darts together in a cylinder or in like a shotgun pattern like that, so I've never really dealt with it before. The way to solve this is just kind of go through your darts, make sure all your darts are compatible with the drum, and then just don't use the other darts. Like you'll find like 1 out of every 10 darts will just be a little bit fatter. It's kind of weird. I did notice that Chicken did do, I think there's multiple versions of the drum. Like there's a tighter fit or a looser fit. I have to pull it up and show it. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check out the files, but that would kind of explain the inconsistencies in the Mega Darts. So let's take a moment to go over the build. This build is actually not too bad. And when I was going through it, I realized that there was actually just a tremendous amount of dead space in this blaster. So I figured one of the biggest improvements I could do to this design is just eliminate that dead space. So first up, let's kind of go over taking apart the blaster. This thing is solvent welded, so be careful. On the back of the stock here, there was a big blob of glue, which kind of holds that on. So that's unfortunate. And I've noticed that even in the shell work, from what I could tell, it seemed like it was solvent welded too. So my paint job was actually, I painted it by hand, which is not good, not recommended. Usually you want to take everything apart and then paint it that way. Inside here, we have some internal footage. You can see how the internal mechanism works. This is a geared kind of ratchet system, kind of stuff that we're familiar with. And the cylinder is just huge. You can see on this cylinder, there's actually channels that run up and down the dart, so you don't actually have a good air seal on there. Also, we have an air restrictor in here, so go ahead, rip that out. This is what it's gonna look like once you take that out. And this is what I was talking about, the dead space removal. So I took some PVC pipe here. It's 21.3 millimeters, and essentially I cut that, and also the inner diameter of this was 15.64. So, that's the type of pipe we're using here. And the nice thing about this is it slides right onto that barrel inside there, or that part. So I pretty much got a measurement, made a mark, took it over to the bandsaw, made a cut, and so I had a nice little plug. Another thing worth mentioning is the front barrel, the big ridiculous ugly barrel, was solvent welded on. So I had to just rip it out. It was very, very frustrating. I don't know why Hasbro has to feel the need to keep gluing everything together. These parts are held together with screws, and to be honest, I don't even think they really need the glue. Here we have my custom part that I made. So I made some cuts, and I found a collar that fits onto the pipe. And essentially I just kind of made a cut of that, kind of went in and chopped that so that I had a nice little collar that I could fit on there. And then I just used some 2-part epoxy and glued this together, and it made a nice little plug. I was so excited with this design. I actually shared it with Luke from Out of Darts, and he said he would definitely look into making a 3D printed dead space air removal. So stay tuned to check that out. Possibly he's got something on his site. So just kind of press that all in there, throw some epoxy in there and glue it all in place. And yeah, he got rid of all that dead space. Yeah, I just wanted to show the size of this plug right here is almost 28 millimeters. So it's a pretty good sized plug. And then also I wanted to show the length of the plug. Now, note the length I show here, which, what I put it at? 23, almost 24 millimeters. I would say that's a little bit short. I ended up needing it to be a few millimeters longer. So I'd actually say 25 millimeters would be perfect. So far, we've removed the air restrictor, we put in a dead space removal, and then the final piece is, if you want to add a little Teflon or definitely some grease. I added some slug slime, so I got a good grease in there, and then I ended up throwing a K25 in there. Now the spring I put in is actually at Silver Fox Industries, and it is the SF25. It is perfectly the right length for a Lynx. So if you want to take a Boomdozer spring and throw it into a Lynx, I bet you'd get some lower FPS, possibly around 150 FPS, if you're looking for a good spring for that. I haven't tested that yet, but definitely going to in the future. But for now, we got the nice SF25 spring inside the Boomdozer, and I believe that's going to give us the power we need to fire those 3 Mega Darts. Well, I'm DrFlux, and that pretty much wraps up this build log or build guide of the Boomdozer conversion over to Mega Shotgun. Let me know in the comment section if this is something you would like to do. I highly encourage people to try this if you have a 3D printer or access to the files. This thing is really cool, and I can tell you right now, one thing that I can't stand when I'm running Mega and there's someone with a shield coming at me is I fire my one little Mega, you know, off of a Proud Papa or something, and I miss, and I'm like, oh my goodness. If you are sick of that, just have one of these. I know it's super big, but you could actually kind of put this on your back and you're ready to rock some shields with this thing. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. I've noticed a lot of people are not subscribed that watch my channel, and being subscribed really helps. So hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell to notify you when I have a new video out, because that helps tremendously. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, happy foam flinging.
We are going to suffer through Nerf Me. I don't like it.
It sucks. You can't defend this one. That looks like it belongs on a milk carton.
Cut that.
Yeah, cut. More reading.
I don't read it.